Hey guys, today is April 8th, and tomorrow I'll be 1 week post-op with Dr. Chen in San Francisco, or I had it in Green Bay actually. And so I went into the surgery knowing that my skin had sagged, and I don't know what the cause was. We didn't discuss it. However, knowing that he was going to do a lift and re-anchor the rod, I had a lot of play. And like I said before, I addressed it a couple times, but he didn't feel it. But it got really bad the last 6 months. So when I came out, everything went good. Uh, he came and talked to me, and I remember it. I was pretty much wide awake. And he said that he had to replace the rod. Or he said he didn't have to, but he went ahead and replaced the rod because with the lift, my other rod went clear to the tip. And this rod is about maybe a half inch from the tip, so it gives it some play. And it's the rod is shorter than I had before, but everything lays the way it should, the way I thought it should. Uh, I can wear him down in my underwear. He's not cleared to my butt hole. Um, he's laying the way he should be. So anyway, I had really considered if this rod didn't work to go to the pump, and he assured me that the rod was a better choice, and that he didn't think it was the rod that went bad. I said, okay. So anyway, I've been trying to keep it down for the last week. I have a hard time not doing things, and for the most part, I'm healing really well. I've got a little bit of swelling that I'm going to take a picture and send him in a non-operative area, but it could be from the base of the new anchor. He anchored this new rod in metal sutures. He said that he has found that guys over 40, their bone weakens, their pelvic bone weakens, and therefore could cause the rod to disanchor. Well, I asked him, I said, so how was my pelvic bone? And he says, very strong. I said, okay. So I think actually it happened the night of surgery, getting into the bed at the motel room. I just think over time, uh, me constantly pushing him to the right in my UFM underwear, it just wore on the suturing and came loose. So I'm not gonna. There's no specific one point where it did it. I think it was a gradual thing. But anyway, yeah. So he was very pleased with the results. He I talked to him. I could not ride back up there for the first post op, which was last Friday, so it was 4 days after surgery, and I would have to drive myself, and I couldn't sit straight up at that time. My left side, the last 2 inches of the incision, was really not painful, but it would burn if I moved any certain way, and I think a lot of that was the weight in my stomach putting pressure on it. So since then, I can sit straight up. I do have another post-op this Friday. Him and I talked on the phone last Friday. I sent him pictures. He said everything looked good, and he told me that I didn't have to come up if I didn't have any problems for this next uh, post-op. So I'm going to send him some pictures and send him some real good pictures of that swelling. I've pushed on it, squished it, and everything, and it's not painful. So I'm not understanding really what's going on there, and it might, in time, the body might absorb the swelling. But I'm not gonna have another surgery over it. My junk is what it is, but I'm glad that we faced this issue with me because it was worse than what I thought as far as not being intact at all. So anyway, so yeah, I've got a new rod, and I've got a lift, and I think this will do it for me unless something goes wrong with the rod again. One thing good about it, they have a incision already there to go through instead of getting more scar tissue. But I'm praying that this does it. I feel good about it. I kept him elevated for the first 4 days, and then I read the post-op instructions, and it said wherever he's comfortable. And I thought, okay, I'm going to try it out and wear him down in my underwear and see if I have the same issues as I did before. And I can wear him down now and not have those issues. And that was my whole prime reasoning behind seeing Dr. Chen again and having this surgery, because I was becoming very depressed and frustrated and all that about my positioning and stuff and how he had dropped. The one thing I will say this time too is when I came out of surgery the first time, uh, I have mentioned that I had like a boner, and it went down. The swelling went down, but I was always firm. The day of surgery, we drove home the day of surgery, and I was wide awake after the anesthetic, and I didn't get sick or anything. And I would have to keep stopping to pee. Of course, I had IV fluids through me, and I'm a peer. I don't hold things back. And the second time I went to pee, I was more alert, and I went, "Oh my gosh, man! It feels like just like it did before, a piece of skin and just the rod there." And I was kind of concerned about that. I thought, "Wow, my other one didn't feel or look this way at all." And then I asked my buddy who I paid to go up there with me. I said, he had just had his rod within the last 6 months. And he said that his is like that. And I said, oh, okay. So about 2 or 3 days, so I'm about 4 or 5 days after surgery. Yeah, I'm 6 days out. Not the firmness, but just some firmness has come back, but it's not hard like a hard-on. And so I was happy about that it wasn't just a piece of skin, hanging. And anybody who's had Phallo knows what I'm talking about. Those who haven't are looking at it. Don't get depressed at what I'm saying. It's just what it is. Guys are that way before they have a hard-on, so they just have something flapping there. The muscles aren't engaged, and the spongy stuff isn't engaged and with blood supply to make it hard, so they walk around pretty soft. I don't have a problem right now. I mean, there's a little bit of hardness if you push up against it, but it's not like my other one. So there's quite a bit of difference between the two. I don't know why. I plan on just kind of surfacing that with him. I'm going to send him some pictures of the swelling, send him some pictures of the incision, see if he wants to see me on Friday. If so, I'll drive up. If not, he's seen what that little swelling is about. We'll do a phone consult, and we'll go from there. So anyway, that's pretty much about the surgery that I know of, that I can think of. But if you guys have any questions, comment them, and I'll get back to you about it. I just feel better. I don't know. I just kind of feel whole right now. So most of it is because I don't have to worry about how it hangs anymore. It's probably because it hung so far down past my scrotum that it just was not normal for me, and not something I pictured my junk to be, as you younger guys call it. So I'm happy. I'm glad I went through this. I'm glad that they were able to resolve the rod issue. And so any of you guys over 40, maybe FYI, if you're having the semi-rigid rod implant, to ask the doctor to use the metal sutures. If he asks why, you can say, Dr. Chan found guys over 40 that their pelvic bones weaken. Dr. Chen has 3.5 years under his belt now doing phalloplasties. So he's got the experience. He's a urologist by trade, and so he knows all about the stuff. Uh, I do appreciate him. Like I told him, he'll always be a part of my life because he provided the change to another step to make me whole in my journey as I felt I needed. So anyway, guys, that's what's going on. Might do a video later about other things, but right now I'm just kicking it, going crazy. My hair, as you can see, is doing another thing. What happened is, I don't know if any of you really stare at the back of your head, get a mirror and look at it. But the crown of my head is where the hair is thinnest. So I have a cowlick too. I have a swirl and like everything goes this way. And so it just makes me look bolder. But my hair's been wanting to go back this way again. And so I just got out of the shower this morning and said, okay, let's just let it go how it wants. And I may end up, I don't know, I've seen some guys where they've cut their hair short and everything goes forward. And that might be where I end up, you know. But it is what it is. You got to take the good with the bad, and I mean, our bodies are our bodies, and unless we're on chemicals that are causing the hair loss, it's like my legs. My legs, the hair on my shins is probably about this long, but they're real fine. But as you go down, my legs are bald. But if you look at my arms, I don't know if you can tell here, I'm hairy. My shoulders are hairy. My stomach's hairy. Yeah, so changes they're unique and individual. So accept what the changes are, accept how you look, and unless there's something like the issue about my phallus that I needed to address for myself, and the doctor saw that it was an issue, to repair it, you just got to take it the way it is and what's handed to us. So I am so appreciative and I feel so much gratitude for the opportunity to bring the inside out and be able to have everybody see him. I can see him in the mirror. Now I can relate to him uh, in a greater scale of my life, and you know, it's just it's great. So I am going to kick it today, and maybe do a video maybe towards the end of the week after I talk to Dr. Chen again, just kind of give you guys an update on that. But I'm a happy camper, and you guys take it one day at a time, and always make your journey as simple as possible. We'll talk to you later. Bye.